When the night grows quiet, and the stars begin to watch over the earth, a divine stillness covers the world. It is in this stillness that the power of your words becomes most potent. The hour before midnight is not an ordinary hour. It is a gateway between the seen and unseen, a sacred moment when your mind is still enough to speak the language of miracles. Your words are seeds, and when planted in the soil of silence, they grow into realities that astonish you. You have been given a divine code, not written on paper, but spoken through the heart. Every thought you release, every word you declare, is programming the universe to obey. Speak as if the heavens are listening, because they are. Speak with boldness, for faith is the password that unlocks doors no man can shut. When you whisper your desires in faith before midnight, you are not begging, you are commanding. You are not hoping, you are declaring. The invisible forces around you are waiting for your word to move on your behalf. Say it as if it is already so. Say it as if all of creation has aligned to fulfill it. The universe responds to certainty, not to doubt. This is your code. You speak it with joy, you speak it with gratitude, and you speak it as though the miracle has already arrived. The power is not in how loud you speak, but in how sure you are. Speak your code, and then let go. Release it into the vast, unseen hands that never fail. Tonight, do not go to sleep with worry on your lips. Let your final words before midnight be words of faith, words of victory, words of completion. Declare your life blessed, your path clear, your supply abundant, and your heart whole. Then, rest in the assurance that it is done. Miracles are not far from you. They are waiting at your door. All they need is the sound of your voice to enter. Speak the code before midnight, and prepare to wake up to a world rearranged in your favor. Midnight is more than just the turning of one day into the next. It is a sacred threshold, a moment when the world seems to pause and breathe. In this stillness, the veil between the visible and the invisible becomes thinner, and your words, thoughts, and intentions carry greater weight. The hour before midnight is not bound by the noise of the day, nor distracted by the demands of the world. It is a time when your spirit can speak with clarity, when your heart can whisper its desires without interruption, and when your faith can rise unshaken by the chatter of outer circumstances. Midnight is the secret meeting place between you and the infinite power that governs all creation. When you stand in this hour, you are standing at a doorway. Behind you is everything you have experienced, everything you have thought, and everything you have spoken throughout the day. Before you is a blank canvas, waiting to be painted with your next word, your next thought, your next declaration. Midnight is a reset, a divine invitation to leave behind what no longer serves you and step forward into a reality shaped by faith rather than fear. When you use this moment consciously, you call forth miracles. When you speak before midnight with certainty, you are writing the script for the day ahead and programming your mind and surroundings to deliver what you have declared. This sacred hour has long been honored by mystics and seekers as a time of deep connection. The world around you grows quiet, businesses close, people sleep, distractions fade, and this silence is not empty but full of potential. It is as if all of creation leans in to listen to what you will say next. The words spoken at this threshold have a way of taking root quickly, because the energy is ripe for creation. Your subconscious mind, that faithful servant that carries out whatever it is told, is most open and receptive as midnight approaches. What you tell it at this time is absorbed like a seed falling into fertile ground. To treat midnight casually is to miss one of the most powerful opportunities given to you each day. This is the time to direct your energy intentionally, to turn away from worries and rehearsed fears, and to proclaim what you know to be true in the unseen. If you have carried burdens all day, let this hour be the place where you lay them down. Speak release, speak freedom, speak peace, and trust that a higher power has already made the way clear. There is no need to strive in this moment, only to declare and allow. The hour before midnight is the perfect time to speak words that align with your highest good, because your heart is quiet enough to believe them, and your mind is still enough to receive them. Many dismiss this hour, thinking of it as just another tick of the clock, but those who understand its mystery use it as a launching point. They do not merely wish for things to be different. They speak as if the change has already occurred. They do not pray as beggars but as owners of the promise. They know that midnight is the spiritual crossing where one reality ends and another begins. Whatever is declared with faith before this threshold becomes the blueprint for the day that follows. The stillness of midnight also reminds you that you are never alone in your journey. Just as the stars light up the sky, Unseen forces are at work on your behalf, orchestrating solutions, aligning opportunities, and moving people into place. The words you speak give these forces their orders. They are listening, waiting for your signal. If you send forth fear and complaint, they will bring you more of the same. If you send forth faith, joy, and gratitude, they will deliver blessings and surprises beyond what you can imagine. Midnight is your opportunity to choose which message you will send. The beauty of midnight is that it invites you to step into a deeper awareness of your creative power. It reminds you that you are not at the mercy of the day that has passed, no matter how difficult it may have been. You can draw a line, speak a new word, and step into a fresh beginning with boldness. Midnight is your moment to say, I choose again. It is the place where your past surrenders and your future is born. In this sacred hour, you have the privilege to co-create with the divine, to speak what is good, what is pure, what is abundant, and to know that those words will not return void. Midnight is not simply a time on the clock. It is a sacred gateway that invites you to become the deliberate author of your own story. Words are not just sounds that fall from your lips and disappear into the air. They are living forces, carriers of creative power, and they do not return empty. Every word you speak carries with it the blueprint of what it is meant to create. When you understand this, you no longer speak carelessly, because you realize that every word is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your life. A careless word can grow into a thorn, while a word spoken with faith and intention can blossom into a miracle. The world you see around you today is nothing more than the harvest of words you once spoke, consciously or unconsciously. Your words have been busy creating, shaping, and arranging your experience whether you realized it or not. Each time you speak, you send out a signal into the invisible. That signal attracts to it people, circumstances, and opportunities that match the vibration of what you have declared. When you say, I am blessed, you send forth the energy of blessing, and life rearranges to make that true. When you say, I can't afford that, or, things never work out for me, you have planted seeds that must bear fruit after their kind. The soil does not discriminate. It will grow whatever you plant. The universe is impartial. It takes you at your word. This is why it is so important to become the guardian of your speech. Words are creative seeds that carry life when spoken with faith and death when spoken with fear. They are never neutral. When you say something often enough, it takes root in your subconscious mind and begins to grow, whether you meant it or not. This is why repeating the right words is so powerful. Affirmations, prayers, declarations. These are not mere positive thinking exercises, they are the sowing of seed into the field of your future. And just as a wise farmer does not plant weeds, a wise soul does not scatter words of defeat and discouragement. They choose words with care, knowing that the harvest will always resemble the seed. The beauty of this truth is that you can always begin again. If you have planted seeds of fear, worry, or lack in the past, you can choose new words today and start a new crop. You can dig up the old roots by refusing to water them with attention. Every time you speak faith instead of fear, hope instead of despair, gratitude instead of complaint, you are planting something new. Over time, these new seeds will choke out the old weeds, and you will walk in a garden of blessings that you deliberately cultivated with your tongue. Words are creative seeds because they not only shape your outer world, but also your inner state. When you speak words of courage, you feel stronger. When you speak words of love, you feel lighter. When you speak words of faith, you feel more alive. Your mind listens to your own voice more than anyone else's, so the words you speak are constantly training your mind on what to expect. If you speak words of doom, you train your mind to look for trouble. If you speak words of expectation and trust, your mind begins to notice opportunities, blessings, and open doors where before you only saw obstacles. Think of your words as tiny messengers carrying instructions to the unseen forces of life. They do not question your intention, they simply obey. If you say, I always meet the right people at the right time, life begins to orchestrate meetings that confirm your words. If you say, I am unlucky, the same law applies, and you find yourself encountering situations that make you feel unlucky. This is not punishment, it is simply the law of seed time and harvest at work. You cannot plant corn and expect roses. You cannot speak words of lack and expect abundance. The secret is to speak words as if they are already fulfilled. A seed does not beg the soil to grow. It simply contains within itself the pattern of what it will become. Your words work the same way. When you say, I am prosperous, you have spoken a seed that carries the pattern of prosperity. It will grow when you nourish it with faith and gratitude, and refuse to dig it up with doubt. Every time you repeat it, you are watering it. Every time you visualize it, you are giving it sunlight. Every time you act in alignment with it, you are fertilizing it. And then, at the appointed time, the harvest appears, often in ways more wonderful than you could have imagined. This is why your words must be chosen carefully. Idle chatter can plant weeds that you later have to pull up. Complaining can grow a crop of more things to complain about, but intentional speech, speech that is rooted in faith, will transform your life. You can literally speak your way out of trouble, speak your way into health, speak your way into opportunities, and speak your way into divine timing. Your words are not powerless, they are containers of destiny. When you understand this, you stop using words to describe your life as it is and start using them to create your life as it will be. You stop repeating the problem and start declaring the solution. You stop agreeing with fear and start agreeing with the infinite good that is always seeking expression through you. Words are the most accessible and yet the most underestimated creative force you possess. They cost nothing but attention and intention, and yet they yield a return that can change everything. You may not be able to control the weather, the economy, or the choices of others, but you can always control the seeds that fall from your lips. And in time, those seeds will produce such a harvest that even those around you will marvel and ask how it came to be. To speak with certainty is to speak from the authority of truth, not from the trembling of circumstance. When you speak with fear, your words scatter, weak and uncertain, as if begging for permission to come true. But when you speak with certainty, your words take on weight. They become commands rather than questions. The universe does not respond to hesitation, it responds to conviction. Fear asks, what if this never happens? But faith declares, it is already done. Certainty is the language of creation. When you understand that your words are backed by a power far greater than you no longer whisper them in doubt. You speak them as one who knows the outcome. Fear is the great thief of manifestation, because it plants seeds of confusion and contradiction. You may speak a good word in the morning, but if you follow it with anxious chatter in the afternoon, you dig up what you planted. Fear causes you to water weeds instead of crops, to nurture the very outcomes you do not want. The mind becomes restless, imagining all the ways things could go wrong, and the tongue quickly follows, speaking out the worry, repeating the negative, calling it just being realistic. But reality is not fixed, it is shaped by what you dare to declare. When you speak with certainty, you cut through the haze of fear and plant only what you want to grow. Certainty is not loudness or forcefulness, it is quiet strength. It is the unwavering knowing that what you have declared is already on its way. When you say, I am healed, you say it not as a plea, but as a fact that has already been settled. You are not trying to convince anyone else. You are simply aligning yourself with the truth of your being. Speaking with certainty is stepping into agreement with divine law, which cannot fail. Just as the sun must rise and the tide must turn, the words you speak in faith must come to pass. This is why your tone matters as much as your words. If you say, I know good is coming, but your voice is laced with doubt, you have weakened the seed. Speak it with the energy of completion, as if the delivery truck is already at your door. Speak it with joy, as though you have already received it. Speak it with gratitude, knowing that unseen hands are arranging everything for you. This certainty builds a vibration that calls your desire to you like a magnet. The more you speak with faith, the stronger the magnetic pull becomes. There is a creative confidence that grows as you practice this. At first, you may feel the pull of fear, because fear has been your habit. You may feel tempted to hedge your declarations with "if" and "maybe." But the more you speak with certainty, the more natural it becomes. Soon, it will feel strange to speak in doubt, and your words will carry a new authority. They will no longer sound like wishes but like decrees. And when you decree a thing, it is established. Fear is loud, but certainty is calm. Fear rushes, but certainty waits. When you speak with certainty, you are not in a hurry, because you know that what you have declared cannot miss you. You no longer chase after it, you simply prepare for it. You set the table. You get ready for the delivery. You act as if you have already been answered. This is what makes your words so powerful. They are not just empty sounds, but the outward expression of an inner conviction. Certainty also silences the voices of doubt that come from others. When you speak with fear, you are easily swayed by opinions, statistics, and appearances. But when you speak with certainty, those things lose their power over you. People may say it cannot be done, but your inner knowing will not be shaken. Circumstances may look impossible, but your words will not change. You will stand firm and continue to speak life until the harvest comes. And it always comes, because what is spoken with faith must bear fruit. Every miracle that has ever been witnessed was first spoken by someone who dared to declare it. They did not wait to see it before speaking it. They spoke it so they could see it. Your certainty is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. It is the assurance that brings substance to what you hope for. When you speak with fear, you remain on the shore, wishing. When you speak with certainty, you step into the water, knowing it will part. The most powerful thing you can do before midnight is to let your words be unwavering. Do not cancel them with contradiction. Do not weaken them with worry. Speak once, speak clearly, speak boldly, and then rest. Certainty does not repeat out of anxiety. It repeats only to strengthen joy. Say it again not because you are unsure, but because you delight in it. Let your words be like arrows that hit the target, not stones thrown randomly into the dark. Your certainty becomes the atmosphere that draws miracles near. It creates an environment where doubt cannot survive. Just as a seed knows how to grow once it is planted, your words know how to manifest once they are spoken with faith. You do not need to figure out the how. Certainty allows you to let go of control and trust the process. You may not see the first sprout right away, but if you keep watering with gratitude and refuse to dig it up with fear, the harvest will surprise you. Gratitude is the golden key that unlocks the door to miracles. It is the bridge between desire and manifestation, the invisible magnet that pulls what you have asked for out of the unseen and places it in your hands. Gratitude is not merely polite acknowledgement. It is a spiritual force that multiplies whatever it touches. The moment you give thanks for something, you claim ownership of it. You declare that it is already yours, even if your eyes cannot yet see it. This is why gratitude is so powerful. It aligns your heart with abundance rather than lack, and miracles are born out of abundance. When you give thanks in advance, before the blessing arrives, you are sending a clear signal that you believe it is on the way. You are no longer doubting or begging, you are preparing for delivery. Gratitude is the language of faith, and faith always moves the invisible into the visible. When you say, "Thank you for my answered prayer," you are not hoping. You are acknowledging that it has already been handled. The universe responds to that certainty, for it is the posture of someone who trusts that the outcome is inevitable. Gratitude lifts your energy instantly. Fear, worry, and complaint weigh heavy on the heart, but gratitude lightens it. The moment you say, "Thank you," a shift occurs within you. Your mind stops focusing on what is missing and begins to recognize what is already present. And when you notice the good you already have, you attract more good. This is why those who practice gratitude consistently seem to live under a flow of blessings. They have learned that gratitude is not only a response to receiving, but a preparation for receiving. When you are grateful, you water the seeds of your words. Just as rain nourishes the earth, gratitude nourishes your declarations and helps them grow. Each "thank you" is like sunshine to your manifestation. Even if nothing has visibly changed, your gratitude is creating movement in the unseen. Things begin to shift on your behalf, opportunities start aligning, answers begin forming, because gratitude tells the unseen world that you are ready. The beauty of gratitude is that it can be practiced at any moment, in any circumstance. Even in the darkest night, you can find something to give thanks for. You can thank the day for teaching you, thank the challenge for strengthening you, thank the delay for preparing you. This is not blind positivity, it is spiritual maturity. Gratitude refuses to surrender to despair, because it knows that even this moment is working together for your highest good. Gratitude takes what looks like loss and transforms it into gain, by seeing the hidden blessing before it appears. Gratitude also transforms the way you speak about your future. Instead of saying, "I hope things get better," you begin saying, "I am thankful that everything is working out perfectly for me." This simple shift changes your vibration. Hope is good, but gratitude is better, for hope looks forward, while gratitude stands in the present moment and says, "It is already mine." And what you claim as yours must eventually show up. Miracles often come disguised as ordinary moments, but gratitude opens your eyes so you do not miss them. A simple conversation, a small connection, an unexpected thought. These may be the very channels through which your miracle flows. Gratitude keeps you alert, awake, and receptive. When you are grateful, you no longer chase miracles, you recognize them as they arrive. And the more you recognize them, the more they appear. Even before midnight, when you speak your code, let your final words be words of thanks. Thank the divine for answering you. Thank life for surprising you. Thank your own faith for carrying you through. Gratitude is the final seal on your declaration, the proof that you believe what you have spoken. Once you have given thanks, you no longer need to worry or wonder. Gratitude lets you rest, knowing that the outcome is already set. It is easy to be grateful when everything is going well, but the most powerful gratitude is the gratitude you express when nothing appears to have changed. That is the gratitude that shakes the heavens, for it proves that your faith is unshakable. When you can say, "Thank you," before you see the evidence, you are living on the level of miracles. That level is where the impossible becomes possible, where doors open on their own, where supply finds you effortlessly. Gratitude is the energy that multiplies what you have. The more you thank life, the more life gives you to be thankful for. If you are grateful for money, money grows. If you are grateful for love, love multiplies. If you are grateful for opportunities, opportunities rush toward you. The law is simple and sure: what you praise increases. Gratitude does not beg, it blesses. It does not whine, it worships. It does not fear, it celebrates. And in that celebration, the miracle is free to manifest. So when the day draws to a close and midnight approaches, let your heart be full of thanks. Do not let complaint be the last word you speak. Do not let worry write the final line of your day. Close the day with gratitude and you will open the door to a new one filled with favor. Gratitude is the seed of joy, and joy is the sound that calls miracles home. The more you thank, the faster they come. Release is the final act of faith, the quiet surrender that says, "It is no longer in my hands, and I no longer need to control it." Once you have spoken your word, once you have planted your seed, once you have given thanks as though it is already done, your part is to let go. Release is not indifference or resignation, it is confidence that the work is already completed in the invisible. When you release, you tell the universe, "I trust you to do what I cannot." You are no longer struggling, no longer forcing, no longer checking the soil every hour to see if the seed has sprouted. You rest in the knowing that what you have spoken must come to pass. Trust is the hand that holds release steady. Without trust, your release turns into worry. You speak your code and then pick it back up again with anxious thoughts, undoing the very thing you asked for. Trust is what keeps you from interfering with the process. It is what stops you from rushing the timing, from trying to control how the miracle comes. Trust allows you to believe that the path will unfold perfectly, that even detours are divine, that delays are only redirections for your highest good. Release is powerful because it removes resistance. When you cling too tightly to an outcome, you send a signal of fear and desperation, which blocks the flow. The energy of grasping says, "I do not believe this will happen unless I make it happen," and that shuts the door to grace. But the energy of release says, "It is already done," and that opens the way for miracles to arrive easily, without struggle. The more you let go, the more quickly things align, because you have stepped out of the way. Trust is not passive. It is an active stance of faith. It is choosing to think and speak as if your request is already fulfilled. It is refusing to rehearse the worst-case scenario and instead rehearsing the victory. Trust replaces the old story of fear with a new story of confidence. It says, "Even if I do not yet see the evidence, I know it is working. Even if I cannot trace the path, I know I am being guided." This inner assurance is what allows you to sleep peacefully at night instead of staying awake in worry. Release is also an invitation to joy. Once you let go, you are free to live, free to laugh, free to enjoy the present moment. You no longer postpone your happiness until the miracle appears. You live as if it has already appeared. You celebrate in advance. You act as if the blessing is already in your possession, and that energy accelerates its arrival. Worry slows things down, joy speeds them up. When you are joyful, you are aligned with the frequency of your desire, and life rushes to meet you there. Trust allows you to see life with new eyes. Instead of fearing what is coming, you anticipate it with excitement. You know that everything, even what looks like a setback, is conspiring to bring you closer to your good. This makes you unshakable. You are no longer thrown off course by appearances, because you trust the process. Trust is the anchor that keeps you steady until the harvest appears. Release is like breathing out after holding your breath. You do not cling to the air. You let it go because you know more is coming. You trust the next breath will be there when you need it. In the same way, you release your declaration into the universe and trust that the next step will appear when it is time. You do not need to know every detail of how it will come. You only need to know that it will come. The universe is far wiser and more creative than you can imagine. Often, the miracle will arrive through a channel you never considered, at a time you could not have planned. When you release and trust, you create an open space for blessings to land. You make room for the unexpected. You allow life to surprise you. This is where the most extraordinary manifestations occur, not through force, but through flow. You have done your part, now let life do its part. This is the dance of creation. You speak, you thank, you release, and then you receive. Even as midnight passes and a new day begins, hold fast to this posture of trust. Do not pick up worry again with the sunrise. Keep your words aligned, keep your heart light, and keep your hands open. Trust is the soil in which miracles grow, and release is the gentle rain that nourishes them. When you can truly let go, you will see that what you asked for was always on its way. You simply had to step aside and allow it to arrive. The way you end your day sets the tone for the one that is coming. Every night, as you prepare to sleep, you are writing the final line of your daily story, and the universe takes note. This is why it is so important to end the day with victory, no matter what has happened. Even if the day seemed full of struggle, disappointment, or delay, you can still close it in triumph by choosing the words you will speak before midnight. The outer day may have been chaotic, but your inner world does not have to reflect that. You have the power to reset everything before you lay your head down. Ending the day with victory means refusing to let the last thing you think about be worry, fear, or regret. It means choosing to go to sleep with faith on your lips and gratitude in your heart. When you close your eyes, your mind continues to work, and whatever you were dwelling on before sleep will be magnified in your subconscious. This is why bedtime worry often grows into restless dreams and waking anxiety. But when you speak victory before you sleep, you give your subconscious a new instruction. You program it with success, peace, and solutions. You tell it, this is what we are creating while I rest. Victory is not about denying what happened. It is about rewriting its meaning. You may have faced a challenge today, but that challenge made you stronger. You may have received a no, but that simply means a better yes is on its way. You may have seen a delay, but that delay may have been protection. Ending the day with victory allows you to reclaim your power, to see yourself not as a victim of the day, but as a master of your destiny. This is why the final words before midnight are so crucial. Let them be words of blessing. I am safe. I am guided. I am blessed beyond measure. Everything I need is finding me now. Tomorrow brings new opportunities, and I am ready. When you speak this way, you close the day in triumph and open the door to a morning filled with favor. Your words are the bridge from one day to the next, and you get to choose what crosses over. To end the day with victory is to consciously release everything that weighed on you. You forgive those who wronged you. You let go of mistakes you made. You lay down every fear and allow the night to restore your strength. This release is not just for your peace of mind. It is the key that allows new good to flow to you. When you cling to anger, guilt, or fear, you carry them into tomorrow, and they block the new blessings trying to reach you. Ending the day with victory means walking into tomorrow with empty hands, ready to receive. Victory also means choosing joy. Even when there is no visible reason to rejoice. It is deciding to celebrate the fact that you made it through the day, that you still have breath, that tomorrow is a fresh chance to create something beautiful. Joy is a declaration that you trust life to deliver what is best for you. Joy tells the universe that you are ready for more. When you close your eyes in joy, you awaken in joy, and joy is a magnet for miracles. Speak as though everything has already worked out, because in truth, it has. Beyond what you can see, solutions have already been set in motion. The pieces are already aligning. The supply is already moving toward you. When you speak with victory before midnight, you are stepping into that unseen reality and calling it forth. You are saying, I claim this day as good, and I expect the next one to be even better. This practice transforms the way you live. Instead of dragging the weight of the past behind you, you begin to move lightly into the future. Instead of expecting more struggle, you expect more blessings. And because you expect them, you see them. Your perception sharpens. Your faith strengthens. Your courage grows. Ending the day with victory turns every night into a sacred reset, every morning into a fresh invitation to rise higher. When you make this a habit, you will notice that your days begin to flow more easily. Obstacles seem smaller, solutions appear faster, and synchronicities increase. This is not a coincidence. It is the result of aligning your final words each night with faith, gratitude, and confidence. You are literally speaking your tomorrow into being. So when midnight approaches, let your last words be words of triumph. Close the day not with a sigh of defeat but with a declaration of victory. Speak blessing over yourself, over your loved ones, over your finances, over your health. Bless your home, your work, your dreams. And then sleep in peace, knowing that the victory you have declared will meet you when you open your eyes. So tonight, as the clock moves toward midnight, stand in your power and speak your code. Speak it as one who knows that heaven and earth have heard you. Speak it with gratitude, as though the miracle has already arrived. Speak it with certainty, refusing to bow to fear. Then release it, trusting that unseen hands are already arranging everything in your favor. Let your final words before sleep be words of victory. Words that close the day with faith and open the door to blessings beyond your imagination. Midnight is your moment. This is the sacred gateway. Speak now and prepare to awaken in a world transformed by the sound of your own voice.